Abhishek here. Today we are going to discuss about the interview questions. This is going to be the second series of the video. If you have not watched the first series, please do watch that and then come to this video. Or if you want, you can just watch this video as well. So let's get started. What is Scratchbook in TOSCA? Scratchbook is a feature in TOSCA which allows you to perform trial run of your test step/test cases. It is a useful feature during test case creation/debugging the issue in the test case. Test results are not saved when using Scratchbook, and the shortcut to run Scratchbook is F6. So often this could be also asked as that what is the drawback of running in Scratchbook. So we can always mention that the test results are not saved when using Scratchbook. Coming to the next question, what is recovery scenario? So these are the instructions that tell TOSCA what to do in order to recover a test case that might have failed while running a test execution. So you do create recovery scenarios when you're creating the test case. However, these will be activated only in the execution list, and this needs to be set up in the project TOSCA project settings. So there you'll get several options that how many retries you want to do, at what level of failure do you want recovery scenarios to be activated. So those all settings need to be in place for TOSCA recovery scenario to work. Now, what are cleanup scenarios? Cleanup scenario is activated when recovery scenario fails. So this is like when your test case is failing, it will go to recovery scenario, and then even if the recovery scenario is failing, it will go to the cleanup scenario. Now, what does cleanup scenario do? So cleanup scenario actually attempts to reset the test case instead of fixing the test case as in recovery scenario. Next question is, what are dynamic expressions? Now this is a feature in TOSCA that allows to verify a portion of the string which is static while buffering another portion that might be dynamic. Now the buffered portion is referred to as xbuffer, and the command is xp. Now xbuffer helps to verify strings with dynamic element and simultaneously buffering elements within strings. Dynamic comparison, it's used at test step level. Now list out few dynamic IDs. Date and math are dynamic IDs in TOSCA. The next question, what is explicit name? It is a configuration parameter which can be added to a module. What it does is it allows change in a test step value which reflects the technical identification such as index of an object. Now what is result count? Result count is a property which is used to verify how many times a specific entry appears in a list. It can verify how many attachments a response contains as well. It's used as result count is equal to value. So for example, if there is a table in which a particular number or a particular list item is coming twice, so by scanning that table and using the result count property, we can get the exact number how much it is displaying. Now explain the test data management in TOSCA. Test data management, it's actually a web application by Tricentis which enables you to view all the records in your test data repository. Now we can do some actions as well. We can modify, delete, edit the records as well using test data management. Now what is TOSCA server? TOSCA server is a feature offered by Tricentis in which using a web page we can access all the server features through a single web interface. Now this is going to be the landing page. There could be more addition to the services being offered, but you can monitor the distributed execution, exploratory testing, license administration, administration console, and so on using TOSCA server. What is Tricentis Cloud? So Tricentis Cloud is the service which enables users to access and update their common repository in the cloud. They also allow tenant admins to manage users and projects. Tenant admins can invite prospective users to join the cloud and can add the user details as well. Now what is the difference between TOSCA and Selenium? Here I've tried to list down few of the differences. Now TOSCA is licensed, Selenium is open source as we all know. TOSCA uses a codeless approach for automation while Selenium uses coding approach for automation. Since TOSCA is licensed, we have dedicated customer support channel. In case of Selenium, we have to go with the open source community portal, so there is no dedicated customer support channel. We have inbuilt reporting capabilities in TOSCA, however we lack that in Selenium. In case of TOSCA, the adoption in the industry is less than Selenium. Selenium has been available for quite a while, and it has been one of the most popular tools, so that is more widely adopted. For in terms of TOSCA, it is a fairly new tool if you compare it with Selenium. TOSCA provides testing capability for SAP testing, however Selenium lacks that capability. Coming to the next question, what type of modules that exist in TOSCA? So there are two different type of modules. One is called modules, classic modules, and one is called X modules. Now classic modules are actually using the classic engine for steering the test objects. However, X modules use X engines which are based on TOSCA T-box framework. To the next question, what do you mean by exploratory testing? So the process of learning the design, the product, test case, executing the test case, and interpreting the test results at the same time is what we mean by exploratory testing. In case of TOSCA, there is a session which can be scheduled from TOSCA test suite for exploratory testing. Next question, what are string operations in TOSCA? Now TC string operation is used to modify or verify strings by using regular expressions. In the settings dialog, buffer variables can be created and buffer values can be read, verified, or edited. Now we see test case design section. What exactly is test case design section? The TOSCA test case design section is an add-in that enables you to put your test cases into a logical structure and provides an overview of which test cases you need to cover the requirements you have defined. Test case design allows you to plan and specify your test cases wisely in order to maximize test coverage and reduce effort for redundancy later on. In case you're not familiar with this, so basically test case design contains test sheet in which all the possible data inputs we can define there, and that we can associate with our test case and decide what all test cases we want to, using what all data inputs we want to create the test cases. So that is done in test case design section. What is class in TOSCA? Class is a template for a particular type of entity. Classes are used to define the properties, attributes, and behavior of different components. These are actually reusable, and it actually helps when we are creating the test case design. So when you drag and drop a class into a test sheet, Tricentis TOSCA creates a class reference that allows you to use the class attributes and instances in your test sheet. Now if we are using a reference, we have a two-way street here. So if we modify any attribute in the class, TOSCA automatically updates all the class references, and the vice versa. Conversely, if you make any modifications to a class reference, the system automatically changes the corresponding class. Coming to the next question, what are libraries in TOSCA? Library is actually a collection of reusable TOSCA artifacts / components that can be reused in the test cases. Now each element within the library is known as reusable test step block. These are created where we have a scenario in which a similar function is going to get repeated, so we can create a library and then we can use the library wherever we want in our test cases. Next question is, what are templates in TOSCA? Templates are modeled for concrete test cases. Test cases with a similar sequence can be generalized with a template and can be dynamically created using an external data source. This process is called dynamic test case generation. Select the option convert to template from the context menu in order to convert a test case or a business test case into template. In case you're not aware about the templates, so we create the templates where there is going to be similar type of test scripts, similar logic, and there are kind of different data driven test cases which are going to get created. So we associate this with a particular test sheet, and then we create the instances, and that's how we get the list of test cases which we are going to use in case of templates. Now what do you mean by instantiation? Now in the last question which we discussed, this is in the process of that, similar to that. So after creation of TCD, my bad, it is written TD. After creation of TCD, the test sheets with different data sets can be mapped with template test cases from where we can generate different test cases based on different data. Now the process with which we do this of the test creation process, that is known as instantiation of the template test cases. Now what are the features of Rescan? Rescan feature refers to the ability of TOSCA to detect changes in the state or configuration of an application and to update the corresponding TOSCA model accordingly. Now when this rescan feature is used, it is particularly helpful when elements are added to the page post a scan module was created. For example, there is an application in which there are 4 list items, and after you have created a module, the fifth item is added. So we can go to that module, rescan, and get that added attribute, so we don't have to scan the page altogether again. This covers all the 20 questions for this video. Let me know how you found this video. Please share, like, share, and subscribe.